Let's talk a bit about gold prices. They are heading higher today, up with about 1%. And I think the question a lot of people are asking themselves if it's time to buy or not. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's market update. All right, so these are gold prices. And in the very short term, you might remember I did an update in the beginning of the month, and I said we probably should look to sell around these levels. That idea actually got stopped out and forced me to turn bullish. And then the idea was from here, we can probably buy it and push to the upside. And that worked out fine. Then we came back down here again and actually traded below 1817, which was at my trend defining level in the very short term. So we would have one good return or one good trade, and then one trade where it didn't really work out. And this sort of shows a bit that we're dealing with a market is not really trending too strongly. And when that happens, the system I use here works less good. Now, I think unfortunately it can continue to be a bit quiet for longer, but as long as you trade above 1817.85, I do think we can go up to maybe 1860, maybe 1873. At the same time, this is actually quite nice now because we have two lows here, right? So we have these two lows, and if we take them out, this would most likely trigger stop loss orders for people that bought here and people that bought here. And this looks a bit like a head and shoulders. So on a break here, we could potentially have that move. So we go back down to the lows here from November 30th. As well, that will be in line with the big picture bearish situation we talked about in the past. So you can put a line like that, and suddenly you get an ascending trend line. Ascending triangle. And I traded this myself, and I made a bit of money on that. And we have that pattern there. So I bought it here. I had an entry order to sell the breakout, and then the market slid from here to here, and that's as far as I traded this market. And we still have this unmet target, and that pattern is still going to be active as long as it's below 1879. So we're in the short term, we can go a little bit higher. I don't disagree with that. And then if we take out 1817, we can tumble all the way down to 1763. And that's actually my preferred setup. It's my preferred setup because it combines the big picture and the short term trend, right? That's really important for me when I trade, and this has been a key to my success. Now, for all you long-term gold bugs, you guys that like to hold this for a long period of time, now obviously we're dealing with a downtrend, and we can still continue to trade lower. But what's quite interesting, if you're looking for the next big move in gold, then it is time to start to focus on gold. Now, we don't have an amazing pattern here to say, oh, we're going to go substantially higher, substantially lower, because even this pattern I just showed you, it just implies a 6% slide, which is not too great for gold. Now, the thing we want to watch though is actually a political event. So in 3 weeks from now, it's going to be January 5th. So at that point, it's going to be Senate elections in Georgia, and there are 2 seats up for grabs. And people have all been telling us, well, the Democrats are not going to grab these seats. It's typically a Republican that would control the seat there. But it's a year where we had huge protests against the system in the U.S. and big changes overall. And remember, we didn't think. Well, a lot of people didn't think President Trump was going to win. I mean, even him didn't think he was going to win in 2016. And a lot of people thought he was not going to lose this time of year because it's seldom sitting president would lose. And it's the same thing here. People don't think that the Democrats could, take these 2 seats. So what's the solution here? I would just be open-minded. Just be open-minded, be ready. Now, right now, again, we don't have a beautiful pattern that we can work with, but I will be ready for maybe seeing some positioning ahead of that. Because if Joe Biden would, if his Democrats would win the 2 seats, we can have more stimulus. And we know what that means, right? Higher stock markets, higher inflation expectations, and higher gold prices. And that makes all of this super interesting. So 3 weeks more to go, and then hopefully have a nicer breakout. the Republicans wins, sorry guys, probably going to be stuck in a bit of a boring move here for longer. And this is just the nature of trading as well. A lot of people don't realize that after a really strong trend, you have some really bit of a break in the markets. So as for 2021, stock markets are probably not gonna be too great, and if we're lucky, we'll still get some moves, especially if we get more stimulus. But realistically, things are going to be much more quieter in 2021. But that doesn't mean, though, that there are not opportunities to trade the markets. So stay tuned to this channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click on that little bell button. That way you get a notification every time I publish a new video, which I usually do Monday to Friday as well. Don't forget to follow me on AlexFX00. That's Twitter. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.